Psalm 123 following. For we have been much filled with contempt. Verse 3. All that will live piously according to Christ must needs suffer reproof. 2 Timothy 3:12. Must needs be despised by those who do not choose to live piously, all whose happiness is earthly. They are derived who call that happiness which they can't see with their eyes, and it is said to them, What do you believe, madman? Do you see what you believe? Has anyone returned from the world below and reported to you what is going on there? Behold, I see and enjoy what I love. You are scorned because you do hope for what you see not. And he who seems to hold what he sees scorns thee. Consider well if he does really hold it. I have my house, he has boasted himself. You ask what house of his own? That which my father left me. And whence did he derive this house? My grandfather left it him. Go back even to his great-grandfather, then to his great-grandfather's father, and he can no longer tell their names. Are you not rather terrified by this thought, that you see many have passed through this house, and that none of them has carried it away with him to his everlasting home? Your father left it, he passed through it. Thus you also will pass by. If therefore you have a mere passing stay in your house, it is an inn for passing guests, not an habitation for permanent abode. Yet, since we hope for those things which are to come, and sigh for future happiness, and since it has not yet appeared, what we shall be, although we are already sons of God. 1 John 3:2. For our life is hidden with Christ in God. Colossians 3:3. We are utterly despised by those who seek or enjoy happiness in this world. Our soul is filled exceedingly, a reproach to the wealthy and a contempt to the proud. Verse 4. We were asking who were the wealthy. He has expounded to you in that he has said, the proud, reproach and contempt are the same, and wealthy is the same with proud. It is a repetition of the sentence, a reproach to the wealthy and a contempt to the proud. Why are the proud wealthy? Because they wish to be happy here. Why? Since they themselves too are miserable. Are they wealthy? But perhaps when they are miserable, they do not mock us. Listen, my beloved, then perchance they mock when they are happy. When they boast themselves in the pomp of their riches, when they boast themselves in the inflated state of false honors, then they mock us and seem to say, Behold, it is well with me. I enjoy the good things before me. Let those who promise what they can't show depart from me. What I see I hold, what I see I enjoy. May I fare well in this life. Be you more secure, for Christ has risen again and has taught you what he will give in another life. Be assured that he gives it. But that man mocks you because he holds what he has. Bear with his mockeries, and you will laugh at his groans. For afterwards there will come a season when these very persons will say, This was he whom we had sometimes in derision. Wisdom 5:3. To this we must add that sometimes those also who are beneath the scourge of temporal and happiness mock us. Did not the robber mock? Luke 23:39. Who was crucified with our crucified Lord? If therefore they who are not worthy mock us, why does the psalm say, a reproach to the wealthy? If we carefully sift the matter, even these, the unfortunate, are worthy. How are they worthy? Ye, for if they were not worthy, they would not be proud. For one man is worthy in money, and proud on that score, another is worthy in honors, and is proud on that account, another imagines himself worthy in righteousness, and hence his pride, which is worse. They do seem not to be worthy in money, seem to themselves to be worthy in righteousness towards God, and when calamity overtakes them, they justify themselves, accuse God, and say, what wrong have I been guilty of? Or what have I done? You reply, look back, call to mind your sins, see if you have done nothing. He is somewhat touched in conscience and returns to himself and thinks of his evil deeds. And when he has thought of his evil deeds, not even then does he choose to confess what he deserves his sufferings, but says, behold, I have clearly done many things, but I see that many have done worse, and suffer no evil. He is righteous against God. He also therefore is wealthy. He has his breast puffed out with righteousness, since God seems to him to do ill, and he seems to himself to suffer unjustly. And if you gave him a vessel to pilot, he would be shipwrecked to himself to suffer. He would be shipwrecked with it. Yet he wishes to deprive God of the government of this world, and himself to hold the helm of creation, and to distribute among all men pains and pleasures, punishments and rewards. Miserable son, yet why do you wonder? He is wealthy, but wealthy in iniquity, wealthy in malignity, but is more wealthy in iniquity in proportion as he seems to himself to be wealthy in righteousness. But a Christian ought not to be wealthy, but ought to acknowledge himself poor, and if he has riches, he ought to know that they are not true riches, so that he may desire others. And what is the wealth of our righteousness? How much soever righteousness there may be in us, it is a sort of dew compared to that fountain. Compared to that plenteousness, it is as a few drops which may soften our life and relax our hard iniquity. Let us only desire to be filled with the full fountain of righteousness. Let us long to be filled with that abundant richness, of which it is said in the psalm, they shall be satisfied with the plenteousness of your house, and you shall give them drink out of the torrent of your pleasure. Psalm 36, verse 8. But while we are here, let us understand ourselves to be destitute and in want, not only in respect of those riches which are not the true riches, but of salvation itself. And when we are whole, let us understand that we are weak. For as long as this body hungers and thirsts, as long as this body is weary with watching, weary with standing, weary with walking, weary with sitting, weary with eating, whithersoever it turns itself, for a relief from weariness, there it discovers another source of fatigue. There is therefore no perfect soundness, not even in the body itself. Those riches are then not riches but beggary, for the more they abound, the more does destitution and avarice increase. Let then our whole hunger, our whole thirst, to be for true riches and the true health and true righteousness. What are true riches? That heavenly abode in Jerusalem. For who is called rich on this earth? When a rich man is praised, what is meant? He is very rich. Nothing is wanting to him. That surely is the praise of him that praises the other, for it is not this when it is said, he wants nothing. Consider if he really wants nothing, if he desires nothing. He wants nothing. But if he still desires more than what he has, his riches have increased in such wise that his wants have increased also. But in that city there will be true riches, because there will be nothing wanting to us there, for we shall not be in need of anything, and there will be true health.